Right, Maui, what is your bad point?
Yeah, mine is that Spirit already probably the hardest to like team in terms of personalities has removed their one personality that I liked.
Okay.
Spirit removing Magix here. Maybe you could make the case, and you can, that as an individual wasn't always holding up his end of the bargain, but in terms of extracting absolutely anything from this roster that gave us genuine joy or excitement, it has been lost. I mean, every single time Magix gets on an interview, you know it's going to be something that's sarcastic, but sometimes witty, but also very in tune with what is going on in terms of meme culture. But now, oh my God, like talking to Zontix is just you're really you're talking to a guy that thinks he's Blade without actually having the wisdom of Blade. And then with Donk, it's just you're getting the most matter of fact straight answers, but if you ask this guy a yes or no question, he will give you a yes or no answer. Like there's no if, ands, or buts about it. So I I get it. I get it. Like Spirit needed to shake things up in some way because they didn't achieve the results in this last season that they had wanted. I mean, I funnily just coined it as the year of the dragon take, that they weren't going to win a real tier 1 tournament this year. But I also feel like losing Magix is gonna it puts pressure on everybody else in a weird way. And I feel like when you're actually on a team with Donk, this is like when you're Magix, like Donk did something for Magix where he helped Magix win the one major that Magix might ever win. Okay, I'm not even gonna mince words about that. People are like, he always has the rest of his career. It's like there's not many opportunities to win a major, and you're not gonna generally have a Hall of Fame player sitting next to you, and you are going to have your best series of your career all at once. Okay, so I don't really see Magic's getting to the same heights necessarily, but that's kind of the the double-edged sword of having Donk. You have this guy that can win you these tournaments, but it's also a guy that puts immense pressure on you. And if Donk never joined Spirit, it's almost like two things would have happened. One, Magix would have never won a major, but two, Magix would actually still be on Spirit in my eyes. So it's just the unfortunate fate of a likable guy that was on a team that now is really just it's all business here.
I think the obvious thing is for them was picking between Zontix and Magix, and basically the performance at the major kind of decided the roster spot in my head, at least from just an individual perspective, and we saw how much impact Zontix had at keeping Spirit alive for as long as they did before bouncing out. And I think, yeah, from a shrewd organization perspective, it's a no-brainer. But there are a lot of intangibles that I kind of liked from Magic's the more that I reflect on the move. Where I think about the Shanghai Major, and after we kind of go to the vlog portion after the major was over, they had a kind of behind the scenes footage, and Magic's did a lot of good work in kind of calming down some of the stars of the team, and calming down Don, calming down Shiro a couple of times. And that kind of like emotional anchor is actually, I felt like, super valuable to this team in a lot of situations. And yeah, as you kind of mentioned, being just a joy in interviews as well. I mean, I think Zontix and Donk both love the like whole nonchalant gimmick of like I'm like such a cool guy, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I don't think it's really added any entertainment value to me. It's really everything that's in server. But yeah, I think that I am torn in two minds that you had to have made a roster move at this point. There's no doubt about that. You think about the fact that you were given a grace period after Shanghai. Of course, you'd want to run it back after Shanghai. That's kind of like a requirement. I know a lot of people were calling for just adding in Kyosuke just straight away and cutting Magics, but it made a lot of sense to just run it back. But at this point, at this juncture, it makes a lot of sense to me. I think that Zoe was the next guy up if you weren't going to go the Kyosuke route. And I think he's got definitely the mechanics to adapt to tier 1, but I think that actually fitting into this team will be interesting, just considering the emotional vacuum that this guy adds. So how these 5 players will actually mesh personality wise will be very curious, because now more than ever Chopper has no secondary guy to look towards as the older guy to kind of walk these guys along. it's really got to be Shiro that's got to do it at this point. And I'm kind of worried because I don't necessarily see him as that emotional anchor the way magixx was moving forward.
Right, obviously, Maui basically is doing this on like cultural impact scale because the actual roster move's probably a good one. Like, as you're all pointing out at the end here, I mean, I made a point on one of these shows that's like, it's actually kind of, I think it was an ugly point I picked where I said, Spirit are the reigning major champions, but I don't know anyone who actually even pencils them in as a team that could win the major. Now, don't worry, because deeply damaged human beings won't like fix their own life. They just have to point out I'm wrong on a video game talk show. They all rush to tell me like, that's not true. I do think they can win the major. Well, then you're a fucking dickhead then. Congrats. Are you the GM of fucking Spirit or something, you moron? You never could have won the major. How did that work out? The joke is, Mouse literally were gagging like, Gluck 9,000 and bent over a table and they still fucking beat you. Like, they could have done more for you at that point in time to try and give you that match. You still couldn't take it. So, spoiler, you never could have won that major. But you know what? That is one of the rare cases ever where he didn't just have a life game. Remember, they would have lost that major with Donk having the record for the major rating. Like, that was like a life game beyond life games at Shanghai. That in a fucked up sense, even though I hate that way of thinking about business, it is humans at the end of the day. We're not robots. I do think you owed him another season after that. If he saves your ass at the fucking major like that and you win the motherfucking world championship in your first year with that roster, I think it's fine to say, you know what, look, we're not going to go crazy. You don't get to have like 4 years in the team like Olaf Meister Rain level shit. But you know what? You get one more season. Let's see if somehow miraculously you can be really good in this season. You weren't. That's fine. By the way, that's what you expected anyway. You know what his normal level was like. And yeah, here's the thing. Certainly, we might look down the line and go, maybe Zontix wasn't the move you're supposed to make. Maybe actually Zontix is the one that gets to skate NAF in Team Liquid style with that analogy I gave before of the JKS NAF scenario. But I don't hate it. So the move itself is a good move. But I know what you mean by it's a bad move in terms of it has just killed all the like cultural impact / hype around this team. Because you're right. First of all, I even think Donk on his own is going to suffer now in terms of like personality. Because if anything, the vibe from magixx almost made you feel like, I don't think this is real, but I think it made you think, oh, that's the vibe in their team. It's just that the others, you know, aren't as eloquent. People like Donk aren't as good at speaking English, you know, so they can't transmit it. But, you know, magixx is the one that's hooked into the Western meme culture. So he's shown us, now they are all quite cool. I think actually the way around Maui, I think he is funny and he is like HLT. I reckon the rest of them are just boring fuckers who just play CS. So the problem you're going to have now is Donk's out there just like, oh, I'm just going to get, oh, what's this? Fucking number 2 player of the year. Hey kid, you want this? You can have that. I'm going to win like 15 number ones. And all the people on the HLD, hey, he will, you know. It's like, again, even though, like we were saying about winning majors, it's pretty hard to do. Pretty hard to win. I don't know if you know this. Guardian and Eco, pretty hard to win majors, actually. You don't just trip over and win them. So Donk already, I think that's whack. I don't even vibe with that. I know he's trying to be on some like fucking Kobe shit, but he hasn't pulled it off. He's more in the Jason Tatum camp rather than Kobe, if you get my reference. Then you've got fucking Zontix. You guys said it, but I'll go further. He's a replicant. He's not human. There's no way. He would fail every Turing test. He would be like, well, why would you have the turtle upside down? Just put it back around. Like, he doesn't know if he had breakfast this morning or not, Maui. He doesn't know fucking shit, Zontix. Like, this motherfucker would fail every Turing test. But I tell you what, if you want some really boring ass guy to just sit in a site and not make any movement and shoot 2 people in the body, there you go. That's the level of robotic precision we've got to at this point in time. Obviously, then you've got fucking Shiro. This is Shiro's level of cultural impact. If you walked into a room and Shiro was there, first of all, you'd have to go, oh, there he is. He's just like peeking around that corner. Hey, Shiro. He would just go, hi, then move 5 more meters back around the corner. You'd walk around, what the fuck? Peek your head around the corner. You go, are you all right? Yes. Then he'd just go back into a kitchen. That's all he does. Same as his game. There's no personality there. By the way, without even going outside of school, I even DM'd him when he won the major and sort of did one of those ones like, you know, congrats, all those fucking haters on your back. You showed them all. And he basically just was sort of like, nah, I'm just an all right AWP though. And I'm like, fucking hell, you even believe that privately? What the fuck? Well, no, there's no one in public now, mate. Why you say that? You've just won the motherfucking major. So no personality there. That's all gone. There's nothing to deal with there. And then Chopper, I'm sorry. This guy doesn't even attempt to do all the interviews in English. By the way, you know how much, Chopper, you could save your job if you just became the main go-to guy. In fact, copy what magixx did, make it funny, and you can actually have a gig in this team for years, because you're going to be all these in the last... This guy... I don't know anything about him. He's a black box. No one knows what's going on. All I know is he looks like if I dated his daughter and things went too well after the barn dance, I'm going to be forced with a shotgun to marry her. That's all I can tell about Chopper. And I think that maybe even describes his style of leadership in the game. So there's nothing going on there. I agree. This cultural impact of his team is whack. As far as I can tell, the cultural impact now is maybe one of them's secretly a cat boy or something. That's about it. That's all I know is that they watch anime. That's about it. That's all. I don't. By the way, also nobody knows anything about this new guy that's joined it now. No one knows or gives a fuck for that matter. So at this point, it's got cultural impact. It's going to be hard sledding from here on out, boys. They've got to fucking. You better do some work. Because low key, magixx did carry all those interviews. Like I thought. By the way, I still think the funniest one ever. It's just that one where they go like, "What do you think?" Something like, "What do you think he'd be like without dog?" He's like, "Washed as fuck." It's like, what the fuck? That's like really good comedic timing, guys. Like, if he actually did think that up off the dome, that's straight fire. Like that's just mental, isn't it? And we've already referenced it before, but if you want to know what we're talking about cultural impact, just look at the scenes after they won the major, bro. You'd think they'd lost. You'd have thought they were the team that lost, wouldn't you? I've never seen a team give less of a fuck about winning the world championship. Like the fuck, it's so weird, isn't it? It's so weird. This team, mate. It's so weird.
I don't know. When they won that, remember when Donk won the MVP and at the Shanghai Major, they tried giving him a computer as the MVP award. He's like, I do not care.
I know.
Like, okay.
I know.
It was a weird MVP trophy.
No, but didn't they also say so to him? Like somebody else, he was like, who cares about that shit? It's like, you maybe, you just won.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.